evening, my little angels. Reindeer have always been a familiar sight during the Christmas season for us. We probably know about reindeer more from the images and tales associated with Santa Claus sleigh led by the reindeer rather than their story in the natural world. So, what about the most prominent reindeer with a bright, glowing red nose? What is the story about him? Let's listen to it today. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Once upon a time, in the Arctic, there was a little reindeer named Rudolph. Rudolph was a very special reindeer. However, that very special quality made him friendless. Rudolph felt the deepest loneliness during the Christmas season. One year, as usual, Rudolph wandered alone in the days leading up to Christmas. He watched the other reindeer frolicking, playing together. They seemed to have so much fun, yet they never invited Rudolph to join in. This was all due to Rudolph's large, shining red nose. It was no ordinary reindeer nose. Rudolph's nose emitted a brilliant light that could be seen throughout the Arctic, marking him uniquely. The other reindeer mocked Rudolph's nose. They even fell over in the snow, laughing at him. During those moments, Rudolph trotted home, feeling utterly alone and sad. He tried to find joy within himself, for, after all, it was Christmas. Finally, Christmas Day arrived. Santa Claus and his reindeer were tasked with delivering presents to children all over the world. From dawn to dusk, everyone busily loaded gifts onto Santa's sleigh. That Christmas, a thick fog enveloped the land. As night fell, all that could be seen was nothing but heavy mist. The atmosphere was dreary, and the reindeer began to argue about who should lead the team that night. Everything was finally set, and Santa stepped onto the sleigh to embark on his journey. He was running late, but it was so dark and foggy that he couldn't see who could lead the reindeer.
What will happen to this Christmas?
Santa worried. His sleigh seemed to be wandering off course. Suddenly, he noticed a faint red light flickering through the dense fog. He steered the sleigh toward the source of the light, wondering what it could be. The light grew stronger. At last, Santa reached Rudolph, who stood alone, trying to find joy by himself. Santa asked Rudolph if he could help guide his sleigh.
Your big shiny nose is exactly what we need to keep our sleigh on the right path,
Santa told Rudolph. Rudolph jumped for joy. Of course, he agreed. Rudolph took the lead at the front of the sleigh team. The other reindeer smiled at him, rejoicing because if Rudolph's red nose shone bright, the sleigh could stay on course, and this year's Christmas gift-giving would continue beautifully. That Christmas Eve was dark, but the ringing of bells resonated clearly. Rudolph and his bright, shining nose led Santa Claus and his sleigh, filled with gifts around the world. From that day forward, Rudolph became known as the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The red nose that once made him a target of ridicule became Rudolph's greatest pride. The story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is one of the most famous Christmas tales ever written. Although the first story about Rudolph was only published in 1939, it has become a classic symbol of Christmas. Following the legendary animated film in 1964, Rudolph's story gained even more popularity. Robert Louis May was the creator of the character Rudolph, the fictional red-nosed reindeer. Rudolph is often depicted as the ninth and youngest reindeer in Santa's team, leading the sleigh and guiding Santa Claus on Christmas Eve with his brilliant red nose. Despite being ridiculed for his special nose in his youth, that very nose helped deliver Christmas gifts to children worldwide. This tale also speaks to the need for children to express themselves and be accepted for their unique traits and characteristics. Today's story time is over. I wish my little angels a good night's sleep. I kiss you long on your forehead. See you again next time.